Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 Podcast. Today we welcome Skyler Wagoner. He is a commercial photographer and lifestyle photographer from Indianapolis, Indiana. He moved to LA in January of 2021 and was living in his car for the first 4 months of living in LA. Skyler is an unbelievably talented creative with a story of ambition and perseverance. We are so excited to have him on the show. Everyone, please welcome Skyler.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Welcome to the show, boy.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
We got to start you off strong. Welcome him to the show, Costas.
Okay, well, before we start, we have this thing that we do. It's called a one-handed crack. Okay. So Braden, every single day,
godfather of it, I think.
He drinks a white Monster and he puts it on his story and he opens it with one hand, one-handed crack.
No surface.
You can't use the table for help. So and he's going to give you a score out of 10.
Yeah. So you just got to pick it up and rip it right off the bat.
Doesn't matter what finger.
Well, so you're kind of starting it off. So you got to go just naked hand on the table, no touch, and then bam, and then just whip.
Try not to dent it if you can.
It has to be off the table.
Got to be off the table.
One hand.
Okay. Are
Ready?
we ready?
Hit it. Wow. Oh, you fucked a little dent on the side. You had such a good start.
That's pretty nice, though.
That was really impressive. We're going to lob out a 6-2 because dents just really take you down a couple.
Dang.
That was an incredible crack.
But it was it had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And I feel like next time you're on, you'll be in the 8s.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
The 8s is where we want to be.
The 8s is where we want to be.
No one's ever gotten a 10.
No one's ever got 10s. Don't exist.
Okay. No, that's great. I appreciate the way you judge that. I didn't know that dents were a.
I should have.
He doesn't like to tell people ahead of time because he wants his high score to remain at the top. I think it's an insecurity thing.
Hey, to each their own. But I will say, good taste on the poppy here.
There it is,
absolutely.
dude. Well, we're pumped to have you.
Thank you.
We've heard a lot about you. Costas has filled us in a ton these past few weeks.
Yeah, so I met Skyler, had to have been a few years ago at this point, right?
It was a year and
yeah, it was like middle of the pandemic.
Months.
So we went out to Alabama Hills, like over 4th of July weekend, right?
Yeah.
And we were both there and we were chopping it up and I was just like, man, like you have such a crazy story. I'm so proud of you because I've seen your progression. It's been like so beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited to have you on and to touch on your story because for those of you guys who don't know who Skyler is, obviously he's a super talented photographer.
Appreciate it.
But he moved out to LA and was living out of his car for 4 months, which is just like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
One of the craziest stories I've ever heard. And I just kind of want to start off. I want to hear your entire story from start to finish. But if you could start us off and like take us back to what your situation was like in Indiana when you were living there, like what kind of work you were doing, and then like work us through like what eventually led you to come out to LA.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Every time I hear the fact that I did do what I'm about to explain, I'm like, why did I do that? But anyway, there's obvious answers now. But life in Indiana, it's a small city, small towns all around it. I grew up in a small town outside. It was technically Indianapolis, but it felt like it was like 20 minutes from the farm, 20 from the city. There's not really a whole lot going on in terms of work. Like obviously LA is the holy grail, the place for people like us. But there it's like shooting some events, shooting some like sports things, or like really it was because of my Instagram account that I was only getting work outside of Indianapolis. So it would be a lot of like outdoor brands because that's the way that I was like doing my photography back then was outdoor based. And I wanted to get into the commercial space because obviously I want to start making money with it and just looking more professional in terms of like what everybody else was doing on Instagram back then. That's what I thought I needed to be doing.
What caused you to pick up a camera in Indiana in the first place?
So a little backstory. I've been doing photography for 10 years. I'm 24. So I picked it up super early. Going to like the bus stops in the morning and like taking photos of like sunrises or like I grew up in like all my friends skated. So I grew up in skate culture. There's always somebody in a skate group that needs to be the filmer or like the photographer, like someone documenting everything. So I kind of quickly became the person in the group who did that. But my friends and I, we just didn't only go skate. We'd go adventure, like waterfalls, like all these Indiana state parks, like basically anything we could do to get away from home or like our town, like to go and just see it. Cause we had such an early travel bug because of Instagram and like what everybody else was doing. It was like, we don't have money to go to Bali. We don't have money to go even to Kentucky. But we'll drive 30 minutes to this like cornfield and do a cool like photo shoot or like skate on this road just because we wanted to. So basically everything that we were doing in our lifestyle is what caused me to pick up a camera and pursue it more. You know, I fell in love with creating what my friends and I were doing and just showing people you can do fun things in a small town.
What was that first camera?
The first camera I ever, like, we talking like
that you were using to rip the photos.
Like,
or
that's
rip the
not
videos.
that's not like a phone. Like,
Yeah, that's not your
that's
phone.
not a phone. Okay, good. It was definitely a Nikon Coolpix.
Sure.
Like, I don't even want to
Just
call
like
it.
one of those little point and shoot kind of deals.
It was a little bit better than that. I will
Okay.
say it had like a handle on it and like a built-in lens. It had like the infinite zoom. You know how those Nikons are. Like every ant has one. You know what I mean? Like every ant has these, and it's like the rocker, the zoom rocker. You know what I mean? I had that.
Are you still shooting Nikon?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Okay,
I was gonna say,
we're
we
gonna
can say that.
We're gonna have to end the show early, and I was like, dude, God, I really liked you off the back.
Dude, I would not like me either. But anyway, no, I'm not shooting Nikon. I got rid of that so quickly. As it happened so quick.
When you're like first picking it up, you're in a small town.
Yeah.
What is giving you like this hope of I can actually be a creative? Because I'm gonna assume, and you tell me if I'm right here.
Sure.
I'm gonna assume that a lot of people may have been like, "Yo, go back and get a job at the farm, or go get a job in whatever your town was
Industry
exactly
or-
whatever
yeah.
industry your town was there for specifically." I'm assuming a lot of people were harping on you like, yo, you're not going to make any money with this camera, and it's not going to be possible for a kid like you to go to a place like this and make it out here. So what does those conversations look like? Were people supportive of you?
So I fell in love with photography when I was 14. So, you know, I don't even know what year this is, probably 2012 or something like that. And in 2014, I saw a little bit of success in the photography space. And I'll hit on that in a second, but I think just kind of within those like 2 to 3 years, that was a span where people were like, it's not happening. But after I hit this little bump of success, everybody was all of a sudden on my side that I knew and was involved with me. You know what I mean? But that like part of success that I'm talking about was back in 2014 when Instagram was just Instagram, like Facebook or Meta or whatever, didn't even have anything to do with it. They used to highlight creators. Like they used to highlight people who were using the app for what they wanted it to be used for. So in 2014, I was a suggested user on Instagram, which I'm so young, bro. At this point, I'm like 14, I think, 15, something, 16 maybe. And no, 16 definitely. And I was a suggested user, and like overnight, I remember it happened so vividly. I was at youth camp, like just doing my God thing. And it was so wild, dude. I like met this other photographer there, and then me and him started chatting. And then like at the beginning of conference is a weekend, I had like, I don't know, like maybe 3,000 people following my photography. And by the end of it, I had 52K.
Oh, crazy.
No way.
Yeah. So
In a weekend?
yeah,
That's
like I literally had to turn, I had an iPhone like
That's insane.
4, bro. Like I had to turn my phone off. It was just like, it was insane.
Because
So-
they put you on like the Explorer type or the
Yeah.
suggested.
What did that feel like? Did you have an anxiety about, oh my God, I gotta go make this the craziest picture I've ever taken? Or were you more on the side of like, dude, let's fucking go. I
Sure,
deserve
yeah.
this shit.
I was to a point where I was just like, it was proof for me. It was proof that I just like, I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? I'm being like noticed by the app that I love and what has inspired me to do what I'm doing. It's given back. It went like full circle.
Okay.
So, I mean, I didn't change anything. I just kept documenting my life and what my friends and I were doing. Like, I think like later that day, I like photoshopped like during it happened, like I was in youth and this like conference, and I photoshopped on my phone this like little Instagram. You remember when you see a notification on Instagram and it popped up orange? Right? It said like whatever, like it does that now, but it's red or whatever. Well, it was orange, and I screenshotted it and cut it out. And then I went outside. You know Instagram, like the old jumps that people used to do, like. Oh man, I don't know if it was so long ago, but there used to be this thing called like hip. I don't even know what they used to call it, but basically on Instagram at one point in time, people were just jumping over things all the time.
Okay.
Oh, I kinda
And it would
remember
take
that.
photos of it.
Yeah.
And it
yeah,
would
yeah.
like, it'd be like a cool silhouette or something. And it was like such an interesting thing back in the day. Well, it was like a posy jump or something like that is what they used to call it. So I went outside of conference. I had somebody take a photo of me doing a jump, and like we put the 10K thing underneath it, dude. So I was like, it was like, so it's like I had no fear of like professionalism. I didn't care because I was just like creating the shit that I wanted to create and do. And back then I had no form of like, there was no status quo. Instagram was still like kind of new, and like to be like, I'm not saying one of the first people, but some early Instagram being highlighted like that was like weird. Like it's weird now.
Yeah.
Back then it was like, I'm doing this shit. Like
Yeah.
photography,
Hell yeah.
I'm running with it. And then to fast forward, and then I was in Time for my photography the next
Oh, that's
year.
crazy.
So 2015 and 2016, I was in Time 2 years in a row.
What were they highlighting?
So Time did an article. It was Time Lightbox, which is like their digital magazines, basically. And they were highlighting creators, one from every state in the U.S.
Oh, that's cool.
And for Indiana, I got chose twice. The only person to be used again the next year. So the Time article was Instagram's top 50 photographers to follow, one from each state. And you'd scroll down to Indiana, and there's like a little picture that I took of my friends like on this railroad track, like just summer vibes, whatever. So 2015, that was like a huge moment. Like I'm a junior in high school. Like at this point, like my teachers are just like, oh my God, like what's going to happen with this kid? The news came and interviewed me at school. Like I was on local news. Like
Wow.
Friends sending me like Snapchats of me like on the news. Like, oh my God, he's a celebrity, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like before that, I don't really know if something like that has happened in my small town. You know what I mean? Sure. Now we've had people graduate who go to the NFL, and you know it's kind of crazy. But and then so in 2016, the same thing happened right after I graduated high school. I was in top 50 Instagram photographers to follow for 2016.
Wow.
So there's 3 years in a row of just constant like hype and proof that like do this. Like you're out of high school now. Like dude, I had teachers tell me I didn't even need to go to college because they were just so. Like they believed in my story and everything else like up to that point. Like what kind of teachers tell you not to go to college?
Are you getting like different kind of attention at school now? Like are girls looking at you a little bit, like that kind of thing?
It's a valid question.
Because
I mean, I definitely maybe it's coincidental. I started shooting more portraits in 2016.
Yeah.
So Skyler, do you want to hang out?
Cindy wants her cheerleader portrait.
It's one of the whole joke about like, oh, like you want to hang out? Like, yeah, I'm so down to hang out. Like, oh, can you bring your camera?
Yeah.
Classic.
That's definitely happened to me, and I don't care what any photographer says. If they ever try to deny, it's a fucking lie.
Yeah, like
that is the easiest way. But no, I mean, not really. I was just like known at school because I'm still who I'm social. I'm very like I like to get to know people and hear people out and stuff. And I was going to church and like inviting people to church or like skateboarding and stuff. I got a huge community of like people who always wanted to be around my friends and I because of the things that we were doing. Like there was nobody that we knew of that were doing the things that we were doing. And like by the time I was a senior in high school, I started traveling out here. Like I started like traveling because I just had so much proof of that I should be out here. I mean, I was like shooting all the football games. Like, I don't know. I was just known. So to answer your question, I don't know if that changed it. I'm sure it did to some people for sure. But
what kind of stuff were you shooting and how much of it was like commissioned work to make money versus like you just shooting with your friends for fun?
I mean, what like time frame are you talking?
In high school when you're getting written up about?
Yeah, dude, in high school I didn't get commissioned often for where it was literally just like me and my friends like pocket change, like you know doing anything we can to go out and shoot and travel and do whatever. But when I guess I like left this part out, but like when I was 14, like the way I started to buy my cameras because I was working landscaping, so I got my first job at 14. And like haven't stopped since then. The commission side of work I didn't really care about because my funds are coming from other things, which is there's freedom in that as a creative, like 100%.
Totally.
Like your funds are coming from other places, and it's like, and I'll hint on this too. That's why I brought this folder. But like you go and work these like shitty jobs, but all you can do is think about what you would rather be doing outside of that, and that is like the best time for somebody to act on how they're feeling. Because I did that, and the only reason why I'm out here is because I actually acted on it instead of just thought about it.
Did you have a plan, or was it more just like are you like a manifestation guy, or like how are you getting through this time? And did you have like things that you can pass on to maybe somebody that is in a small town that was like, this is what I did and this worked for me, or maybe you didn't have a plan? I don't know.
The whole way of me getting out to LA, it doesn't really, it was like a curveball. It didn't really go with the plan that I had, that I thought I was going to run with. I was like, okay, this is it. No, it like everything changed at the very last second. But you know, so like going forward in Indiana, like in 2020 during the pandemic, like I was fortunate enough to be working, but I say that with like, I don't know, you call it like a grain of salt or whatever, because I was working a forklift job with my dad and like, it was giving me money because the pandemic in Indiana, no one really gives a fuck.
Yeah,
like no one did care in these small towns. Like there's not enough people.
There's no one
whatever.
coming in. There's not a ton of people coming into it.
Yeah, like whatever. Like I'm not saying excuse. Whatever like reasoning it was, like people just didn't really care. Like normal life was still happening. It felt like nothing changed. It's like people here, I'm sure it was like daunting for everybody, which I totally understand. And I was working this forklift job, and the day that I got the job, I told my dad and like everybody that he was friends with there, because he introduced me to all them, whatever. It's like, I have a year here and that's it. Like, I'm not going to do this for anymore. And at that point, I wasn't even really saying I'm like going to move to California. I was just like, I'm just not doing this shit for a year. Because I've been working shitty jobs my whole life, you know, since I was able. Quickly, I started planning things. And like, I had a buddy who lived in San Diego, who was one of my best friends, who I grew up with, like photographing, skating and stuff. And so he moved out here and had an apartment. And basically a situation happened where like he got a room available in his spot or whatever. I'm not even gonna mention names because really it's like all that happened for a big reason. Like I wouldn't even I'd be in San Diego doing what would I be doing?
Right.
Just
shooting the Padres.
Like we don't know but like I just don't think it'd be as epic as this. And I'm so glad that it happened the way that it did. But like I've forgiven him now and all this, but like he like totally told me I could move in. Like we were banking on it. Like I was like gonna send him money for like, you know, deposit, whatever, blah, 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 while I was working this forklift job. It's the weirdest situation, dude. Like one of his friends that he was living with was dating this girl, but then they broke up and the girl stayed. And then
weird.
Wait, so he's like, they're gonna break up and you're gonna take her room.
Yeah, and
take his room, the boyfriend's room, right?
Well, he excuse me. He probably thought that they were both going to leave.
Yeah, which
Right.
is a very logical
100%,
thing.
100%.
No, but the chick just stayed, right? That's what
Girl stayed.
the girl stayed. The guy left.
No,
The boyfriend left.
Yeah.
My friend stayed. So now there's like this random girl and
Your
my
buddy.
best friend, and the dude's out of the picture. So what do you think happens?
what the fuck?
They get together. This is all
no way,
dude.
dude.
Yeah, so wild.
Oh, such a bad idea.
I know, and I'm sure he'll watch this and like, I just really want him to know that it's all good. Like I really don't care. I hope he's fine. But like,
Dude, you gotta think with this head, man.
No,
dude, that is bold.
Just thinking with the wrong head, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Dude, I don't. I could go down so many rabbit holes.
No, me too. I almost started to. Anyway, so basically the girl stays. They get together, okay? And this is all in the time frame that I'm ending my life in Indiana.
Right.
I'm like telling everyone bye. I'm like throwing a going away party. I quit my job, dude.
You already quit.
Oh, I already quit.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I quit.
Okay, if they get together though, isn't there a spare room then?
Yeah,
because they're sleeping
exactly.
together.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm added that.
Oh,
So
there's
basically,
more to the story.
yeah, yeah, a lot of stories. In this big story, there's so many little stories that make it all make sense. Okay, it's like a month of process, and he hasn't told me that they got together or anything. Like he's just out here vibing, doing his thing, whatever. And I'm like, all right, dude, like week out, bro. I'm so pumped. Like I get on FaceTime with him, and he's like not answering, and I'm like, okay, I know something's up, dude.
Yeah.
I know he's being weird right now. So I text him like, call me now, because like if I gotta adjust, I gotta.
Right.
You have a week.
I was like, if I gotta adjust, I gotta adjust. And basically he gets on a call with me. He's not looking at me through the phone. And I'm like, all right, say it. Okay, I'm like not even a week out. I'm like 4 days out
Right.
from moving.
Oh my God.
December 27th.
job's quit.
Job's
Bags
done.
are packed.
Had a going away party.
Told
Right.
everybody.
Told
you're
everybody I
leaving.
loved them. Bye.
Yeah.
Family. Everything.
Yeah.
Cancel. I literally canceled everything, bro. Like I was done with Indiana. You know how hard that is for someone to
Wait. So why can't he let you move in now though?
well, man, that's the weirdest thing is like he was letting her decide what was gonna be right.
And she wanted to like live alone with him in this apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
Yeah. So the curveball that I mentioned, there it is. And
That's crazy.
I would say I'm a pretty responsible man, and I don't think I would have moved out to California if I would have known that sooner.
Sure.
So, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, okay, well, he wants to live this life with this girl he just met compared to like his best friend of like 10 years.
Like,
Okay, I
just-
see where everybody's at.
Like just met her, right? And there's
Yeah.
still an open room, right?
There's still an open room.
Sus.
I think there
Jesus just
still is.
fixated on this open room.
I'm just like, someone's got to live in there, dude.
Well, it's probably because you're a good friend and would put your friend in there. I don't know.
Try my best.
But, you know, the whole situation.
But I was gonna say that
Yeah.
you were probably thinking like, man, couldn't you have let me know this like 2 weeks ago at
100%.
least, or,
Even
like,
then.
before I had the party?
Yeah, give him a month.
He saw me have the party
Yeah.
and is just like,
Damn, that's
like, you know, he's seeing it all in stories and shit. But like, the thing is, I don't think he knew 2 weeks before that.
Sure.
So the decision it was all just, the timing was just like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
actually. So I'm getting that call and I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, luckily I have like a camping background. I have like this love for California. Like, I didn't mention this before, but previously I used to come out to California like twice a year for like, I used to do like homeless ministry out here a lot.
That's cool.
With the Dream Center. And on those trips, I would link up with some friends and stuff that I knew out here through photography and modeling and, you know, all this stuff. And so I was like, okay, if I moved to LA, or no, I wasn't even planning on moving to LA until I got to California. I really hated LA, to be like completely honest. I'm like such a nature guy. In Indiana, I was like such a nature guy that was just like, the city's like trash, you know, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even thinking about my career. Like, what do you even, I was in a weird mindset, bro. Like when I moved out here, seriously. And like knowing that I was going to a place where the pandemic actually does exist, I was just, I have no idea what to expect. I was like, worst case scenario though, I'll turn around and come home.
Right. Yeah, that's so interesting. Most people left LA during the pandemic, and you decided to send it out here.
I came in hot.
With a camper.
Buy the dip, baby.
Yeah. Wait, with the camper, or like a camper van, or just?
No, Camry.
I was in a 4Runner.
In a 4Runner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you drove all the way out with all your stuff.
Packed your bags.
In a car.
Nah, like 2% of everything I own. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything else is just at my mom's still. Thank God. Thank you, Mom.
Right.
Oh my
Word.
God.
And then you get here and you're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna live in this car for a while.
Yeah.
Where'd you park it?
Wherever there was no street sweeping signs.
Yeah. Where'd you go first? Do you remember the
literally
first
everywhere.
night where you slept?
Yeah, first night I slept at a truck stop in San Diego, just on the side of Highway 1.
Oh my God.
Scary.
Was your fam super supportive of you doing this once the situation with your buddy like unveiled? Were they like, yo, you maybe should stay home? Or they're like, go chase after what you want?
Yeah, I think, well, you know, given all the background that I filled you guys in, I think my mom was definitely like, go do it. My dad was like, you can always come back home. Like,
Yeah, you can always turn
you
around.
know, yeah, like I think at this point they just like, go see,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm super grateful to have parents who are that, you know, open-minded about things and not try to hold me back. Cause think about it. If my dad was just like, don't go, like I probably wouldn't even do any, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I genuinely don't let people like decide for me, but that's a huge ass decision. And like, I would listen to my parents if they were like, nah, but they were both like, I think you'll be fine. Just go and see. Worst case scenario, you just drive back home. And I was like, damn, I gotta go. Like I literally have to go now.
So the first week up here, what are you doing? And what is the climate like of LA? Because like I'm not from LA, and Kostas during the pandemic, that's when we met or whatever. He was down at his mom's in Santa Monica. I was down at my mom's in the OC. So like we were just hanging out, just us two, and it was dead. Like it was pretty damn dead.
There was nothing to do.
There was nothing to
Everything
do.
was shut down.
We were making TikToks at my house and his house.
Right.
Like that was pretty much what we were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I was making TikToks in my house, my 4Runner. I mean, literally, I just got out here and started documenting everything because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wrote this in my notes, but I think I can remember it well enough to just say, like, the things that you think about every day, or like as often as like basically everything that you think about on your day-to-day basis, your decisions are based around that without you even knowing. Like your mentally you're thinking about, like, I want to move to California. Okay, well now that I look back at it in Indiana, I always think about how many things that I was actually doing to prep for it without actually knowing. You know what I mean? So it's like manifestation essentially is like, you think about something so often that you eventually will just do it if you don't have a closed mind about things, you know?
Totally. So like you sleep in the truck stop, then you drive up here and you just sleep on like some random road.
Yeah.
And like where in like Venice, Hollywood, you remember, just like somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
When I first got out here, I was with my friend Zach. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned any of this, but my friend Zach road tripped with me out here.
Oh, sick.
It was great.
Yeah.
Like, that was like such a safety net for me. Cause dude, if I didn't have my best friend with me, I probably would have stopped in Kansas and would have just been like, what the hell am I doing? Dude, that's a long road trip, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you think about it, from Indianapolis to here is like 20 something hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like over 2,000 miles away from everything that you know and love. You are away from. That's scary. And like, because I had him and I have road tripped out here before, actually 6 months prior in June, we road tripped out here in my 4Runner to pick up the dude that fucked me over and bring him back to Indiana to move there. And then he got a job back in California. So then he drove back to California by himself. So it was like, I had proof that like, okay, at least I can go out here with my homie and we can just like live it up for a little bit. So on our way here on New Year's Day, I was in Mammoth in some hot springs, just like in my car, just living out of it. And there was like a group of people in the hot spring who like invited me and Zach to like drink champagne with them and shit in the hot spring at like midnight.
Sick.
And we had talked to them. We were sitting in the hot tub before you know what I'm talking about? The natural hot springs out there. It's so sick. And so of course, going from Indiana to out here, that's the first thing I wanted to do is like experience the nature side of everything. And these people start asking me like what I'm gonna be doing, like why am I living in my car? Because I told them like over a natural conversation, And those people still follow me today, and I've like seen it all unfold, and they're just like still commenting, telling me like, holy shit, I remember you were just in your cowboy boots in your car, like outside of this hot spring, like just, you were literally lost, you know, like a lost puppy. So I did that. So that was like a good intro to California for me, like a lot of clarity on like, okay, there's people out here who believe in me and I just met them. So like, let's see where this could go. So my friend Zach had to leave from San Diego airport like 2 or 3 days later. So we booked it down here. We stopped in Santa Barbara and I saw somebody that I knew, and then went down to San Diego. And then the moment that he left was like the hardest feeling I've ever felt, still to this day, because it was the first time in my life that I actually like knew that I was alone, like alone. Like I couldn't, like I told you, I grew up in a skate. Like I always had homies, always just, I need somebody to talk to. What are you doing? Let's go hang out. And immediately I got out here and I was like, you hear the quiet that that's literally my head was just like, what the fuck do I do? Yeah. What do? You know what I mean? I had no idea. So,
and it's not like you had an apartment where you're like focused on like decorating the apartment. You're like, oh, this new life. I'm out in LA. It's like, you're alone living out of your car. Like that is insane.
Yeah. It was during the pandemic too. So it was like,
even more eerie, dude. LA was eerie.
No, I agree.
So then camera becomes your friend probably?
Yeah. Basically I turned to, I started running out of money. You know, it's like, I only moved out here with, like, I'll just say this openly to everybody who thinks that they have to have a fuck ton of money. Like, you really don't. You just have to be smart. And there's like 50-50 where like there's like the wild aspect of just go do it and see what the fuck happens. But there's also like, you need a plan. So I only moved out here with $2,500 to my name. And that was like pre-road trip. So you get out here.
Gas.
Yeah, right. Like that number is so low now that I've lived here for a year and a half. Like I can't believe that I trusted my survival off of that. But that just goes to show you where I was at in Indiana. My headspace was literally just, I just want to get the fuck out of here. So moved out here with $2,500, and a couple months in, probably 1 or 2 months, because my overhead was super low because I didn't have an apartment to pay for or anything. Right. And a couple months in, I started selling prints. Like I was making TikToks and documenting how I was gonna like, how I was living in my car, like where I kept my groceries. Like people like,
would you like cook, or like how would you do that?
No, I didn't. Like it's such a long, this could be so choppy and so I don't even know, but like, okay, basically from the moment that I dropped him off at the airport, I slept down there for like a day or two and tried to figure out like what the fuck I was gonna do, because I want to come to LA. I did not want to be up here. Then I was like, fuck it, all right, I gotta go up there, because I knew one person. Well, it turns out that the one person was Caleb. And you know Caleb,
the boy.
Caleb
That's Albert, how we know each other.
The GOAT, right? So I knew him, and his cousin Ben was out here, and I knew Lindsay too. I knew all three of them from Indiana. Yeah. Well, all of a sudden, I don't even know this, but like Caleb is just in this group of like 20 to 30 people who are all in production. And none of them had, like, his cousin was a photographer, but his cousin Ben wasn't really out here full time. So none of them were photographers. They all were videographers, directors, or cinematographers, what do you call it? They were all other things except for photographers. So I got out here, got introduced to the group on like a spike ball day at the beach. I'm just chatting it up. Everybody's asking me who I am, where I came from, all this stuff. Next thing you know, bro, I'm just like, people are just hiring me to just come and work. Like they heard my story, or maybe they just were like invested with who I was or whatever. I don't even know. But like that happened so quickly. So next thing you know, like I met them, but I didn't get hired on anything yet, whatever. Like obviously it's not the expectation. I had friends out here now, which was phenomenal. And
also, let me
please
make this,
because I could go on forever.
Well, no, I'll make this point is like, I know all those people now because I met them through Caleb and some other people, but like the best people.
100%.
Like it's not like you just met a random group of people. No. These people are just so genuine and also super talented.
100%.
You couldn't have asked for a better group of people to like be around when you first moved out here.
I couldn't agree with you more. And there's so much proof so quickly that there are all these different types of people. That group is everybody. Like there's so many different age group, ethnicities, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like there's so much proof in that. They're like, okay, they're doing it. Like there's got to be something for me to do out here. There's got to be hope. Basically, like that group of people like who are in the industry, and they're also like, they were my friends before work, obviously, and still are to this day. But like they have all helped me out so much. And like California has always been that to me. Like I've always known people out here who are doing what they love to do, and it was proved to me. But when I was in Indiana, I was like, what are they really doing? Like, does it really matter? Like blah, blah, blah. Like meeting all those people out here immediately just like gave me proof. And I'm like posting my photos and stuff. They're all showing love like out of nowhere. And so I went from one community to being alone by myself for maybe maybe a month of just living in my car by myself to all of a sudden in another amazing community.
Yeah.
That's the biggest blessing I think I'm not going to say ever, but like, damn, man, because I really need people. I'm a people person.
And that's crazy in LA, man.
Yeah.
It's an isolating city. It's hard to find that.
And I've had that conversation with them, you know, where it's like, I think we all understand that it's unique, you know, and that's why we're all so tight knit. We're all so close with each other and want to hire, like we want to literally fund each other's living.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to, you know, for the projects and stuff that we get hit up to do and consulted for and stuff. It's like, we have so much like compassion for everybody in there, because everybody in that place in the friend group has a crazy story.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane. So it's like we all feel and love for each other. And I started loving those people a month in, dude. Like, that's how you know that you like I believe in life is like truly there's certain people you don't need an introduction period with.
Yeah.
There's certain people you can just dab up
Totally.
and feel the love in that, because you both are at a certain point where you met at the right time.
And you
That's
feel
so
like
true.
you've known them
Yeah.
for so long.
100%.
Were you leaning on religion and like your relationship with God?
Sure.
And using like, were you reading motivational like books, like personal development kind of stuff? Like, how did you keep your headspace positive while you were going through all this?
There was a period, I'm like off and on religious. Like, there's so many people like that, and I'll just openly say it because my life doesn't really make sense. So to believe in a higher power, that does make sense. But to also believe in the power of human beings is also another thing that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm always back and forth. But when I lived in my car, I didn't believe in God. I was not religious at all. I literally was just banking on, I wasn't even banking on anything. This is truly, bro, I was like in such a phase of the unknown. Not knowing where I should be, what I should be doing, how I'm going to do it. My best friend doesn't want me to live it. Like, there's so many things. And it's like, I didn't turn to God at all. I was just like, all right. But then I started meeting all these people, right? When I'm by myself, I'm like, I'm just like, my headspace is weird when I'm by myself sometimes. And I think that's for
You're
a lot
not
of,
the only one.
I was going to say, for a lot of
Right.
creatives, and we're just people in general. People, it's like that. But started meeting all these people, and you know, they're wearing God on their sleeve, you know.
Yeah.
So then I started, you know, I'm like, all right, oh God, thank you for introducing me to these people. You know what I mean, dude? Like, I'm straight up about it. I don't know what to believe in, and a lot of people just sit there and try to fight the concept of like, no, I'm a Christian. Like, dude, I don't know what I am. I really don't. I love life. I love how it's going. If you know, one day I wake up and I feel like, damn, I need to thank God, then I will thank God. If one day I just feel like I need to thank humans, I thank humans. But either way, I'm gonna wake up grateful, because me being out here, bro, I could be waking up to go, like, you know, that's my alarm. That was a shitty sound effect.
Oh, I got it.
But that was my alarm.
That sounded like
I don't know if that was a forklift or
Yeah, because it sounded like a BB. But I could be waking up at 6 a.m., you know, in the fucking cold in Indiana, and like having to go outside in my pajamas and warm up my car and scrub the ice off the windshield and like do all these miserable things. But instead I get to wake up and go to my laptop, or I get to go to the gym, or I get to go, you know, have brunch with friends and like do actual life. So it's like, I don't know but to thank God or what. But back then I was not really banking on it.
Dude, the scraping ice off your windshield, you guys probably never had to do that, right?
never in
That's
my
the
life.
fucking dude. I remember once I was at it. Sorry, not to totally derail. I was at my friend
Please.
Jordan Helmer's house. Shout out. It was late night. It was like freezing rain all night, right?
Yeah.
I'm driving with my buddy Sam. Sam is literally hanging out the pad. It's just snowing as shit. It's like -10. Just like trying to scrape the windshield as I'm driving, because we're like late to my parents. Like we have to home be like midnight or whatever. We're like, I don't know, 16. So fucking stressed. Dude. Scraping windshield fucking sucks,
Dude,
dude.
it's terrible.
It's the worst.
I think, you know, you guys didn't really see the significance in why I said that in the part, but it really is a pain in the ass.
Especially when you're cold and you just like want to get your day started. You're like, oh, I
Literally.
gotta fucking. Okay, but actually, wait, really
sure.
quick.
Let's
So
go
what were you eating? Like, how are you doing food in the car?
Yeah, in the car.
You seen like McDonald's every day? Or are you like trying to make food and
Dude,
like
I have money for McDonald's, bro.
right? So like, what are you doing?
That's how down bad I was.
Did you budget, or were you just looking at the bank account and being like, I need to eat something now, I'm hungry?
Yeah, kind of both. You know, I'm sure like as creatives, budgeting is not like, I don't want to speak for everybody, man. If you're good at it, you're good at it. That's great. Show me, because I love money and all that. And I just, it's like basically to the point, dude. It's like living in my car for 4 months scarred me enough, and I think it's like a great thing. But like basically nowadays, I just don't go without. Like if I want something, I just go get it, because I'm working my ass off out here to live a better life. You know what I
deserve
mean?
it.
Totally.
And I appreciate it, and some days I do feel like that. I deserve it or whatever, and the other days I don't. And that's obvious.
Yeah.
I'm speaking normal
I think
human.
we
You're
all go through
speaking to
that.
the choir.
Yeah.
I'm so good at buying myself expensive shit
Sure.
and being like, dude, I worked hard for this. Like, I deserve this
100%.
shit.
100%. But dude, what? Like, why not though?
Hell yeah.
Like literally, why not? Because you're working, you're doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we're so fucking blessed. I just hope a lot of people who get to this point understand how fortunate we are to wake up and do what we love. Like, as cliche as that is, like the amount of times that I have woken up and done what I hated compared to doing what I love in the morning is, bro, life is crazy.
But sometimes that's necessary. You got to go through the bad and be down bad sometimes to really appreciate, understand, and be grateful for when you're feeling very blessed and when your life does change around.
Yeah, I love that you said that. It's like, I think there's one thing I probably wear on my sleeve is that. It's like, you got to go through the hard shit to see the good in everything. Because you could put somebody who hasn't been through nearly any trials or anything like compared to what I have, and we would look at life totally different. Like somebody living in their car who hasn't been through like whatever. I'm not going to mention my life story, but it wasn't easy ever growing up, you know. And if you put somebody next to me who has had it easy, and then me in the car, I'm going to be eating my fucking rice cakes with peanut butter happily.
So that's what you read.
That is, you're getting your answer now. Yeah. In my cuties, you know what I mean? And basically, it's just going to be different. You know what I mean? So again, like, if like to anybody who's listening to this, like if you were going through something really hard right now, like it will get better, and it does get better, and we've all seen it get better. Just keep fucking going. Like, I can't express it enough. Like, people who give up, they don't see the reward in it because you gave up. Like, it's like anything else in life. Like, just keep going. Sometimes I still do eat rice cakes just because I like them. But, you know, living in my car eating now, it's like, this is a fucking luxury, dude. I got peanut butter. You know what I mean? This is like crazy.
Living good.
Do you get nostalgic? Like, do you taste that and think, like, does it take you right back?
Yeah, I think there's certain
taste
things
can do stuff like that.
Yeah, like cuties, like oranges. I used to just eat the fuck out of those, man. I just loved that so much. And that was like the easiest thing for me to eat. And yeah, basically all I ate was PB&J, like granola bars, cuties, gallons of water, and some Gatorade for electrolytes. And that's like pretty much all that I ate for
Man, this is a weird machine.
Where do you poop?
Yeah, dude. So that was tough because pandemic.
Shower.
Yeah, dude.
Like all that stuff.
Yeah,
really.
pandemic, right?
Gym or something. Oh, the gyms were fucking closed.
Yeah.
Nah. Maddington. They were all closed.
Oh my God.
So the first month of the car was like the deepest of like living in my car situation. The second month I had like some people I could go to now, take a shower, you know, cook some ramen, you know, because that's all I could afford. Anyway, so it was like the second month things started to look a little bit better. So I wasn't really like homeless, but at the end of the night I still slept in my car.
Right.
So the 4 months, there's no like nobody can validate it for me like it was my experience, but the first month I would like go to public restrooms and I would have to ask and like beg them to use it. I'd wear like a mask and go inside and I'd be like, can I please just use the restroom? And they'd be like, you know, we're not allowed to have customers in our restrooms right now. Just like, miss, I'm just homeless right now. Like,
right.
You know, I don't think I ever looked homeless to the point. It was like, so people were probably just like, okay, fuck, we'll let this kid, whatever. So I'd go in there and brush my teeth, fucking all this shit. I would wet wipe, wash. Like I would do, like wet wipes are my best friend for a month, and a gallon of water, and that was pretty much it.
That's
insane.
crazy.
So then let's talk about the getting out of it.
One foot in front of the other. What's that looking like? Was there a point where you get a job that's $1,000 and you're like, oh, we can breathe a little bit right now? Or what was it looking like?
Yeah. So first job was it was from TikTok. So I had like 6,000 followers. I still do, I guess now, but like I don't use it as often. And this is re-inspiring me to do it, which is great. But I gained like 6,000 followers in like a month and a half or two because I was posting my situation of me living in my car, what I would eat, you know, where I would go, what I would do. So there's a music label called 237 Music Label. Shout out to them. We still work together now, but they saw my Instagram or my TikTok, and this was to the point, bro, where I don't tell a lot of people this because it sounds irresponsible. I just really don't care. I got down to $100 in my bank account. My phone bill was like $120. Right. So if I landed on the day, dude, I would have had no money. And like, there was something about meeting the people that I did that gave me the hope of like, just hold out, Like these people are doing it. Like I can do it. Something's just going to have to happen. So maybe there I was banking on God. I don't really know, but I got down to $100. And that day I called my mom and told her. I was holding it off. I didn't even want to tell her. And she's like, damn near crying on the phone for me. She's just like, what do you see around you? And I was like sleeping in a TJ Maxx parking lot. And I was like, I see TJ Maxx, I see Trader Joe's and whatever else is there. And she's like, go in there in the morning. She's like, look nice and go get a job there. And I was like, fuck, okay. I'm gonna have to. Like literally, nothing else. I had nothing.
Right.
That's what was my only situation. And that same night, I got a message on TikTok and was like, "Yo, we saw your story. Like, we want to like, can you come to a studio session tomorrow?" And I'm like, bro, goosebumps. Like I just got him talking, like saying that again because man. So I'm like, yes, immediately. I'm, oh my God, come on, Mom, back. I'm like, Mom, I got a job tomorrow, like in LA, my first job ever. Like I'm so stoked. And the pay was like $400. I was like so stoked, bro.
Yeah, that'll help.
Which is
just skyrocketing.
I mean, I had 100 in my account, so
Yeah.
a $400 job is like
Quadruple
sick.
that shit, baby.
I quadrupled my net worth overnight.
Yeah, what's up, LA?
Goes on Zillow, starts looking at
Literally.
houses.
Yeah.
Gets 2 drinks at One Oak.
Yeah, that's insane. So that happened. I meet up with the dude. He was super chill. Like we still work together today. So it's like he just hired me to do that, and then he hired me again the next month. And basically every month we do like a shoot together still. And like now my rates are obviously like way over that, but like I just
needed money.
Yeah, bro. We just like I don't know, that bond is so good now. So shout out to them for the first job. And the I guess second job was like I was kind of doing my own thing where I was selling my prints and stuff, and it was actually like it was going. Like it was popping off. But the thing is like I had to wait a couple of days for all my money because Squarespace and all that shit. And I would like I was running a print shop basically out of the back of my car, which like I would go to Walmart, print out these prints, and dude, if the person gave them back to me with a crinkle on them or like any sort, I'd be like, no,
I bet.
my life depends on this print right here. It's like, you cannot do this. So started making TikToks about selling prints and like posting on Instagram, swipe up links, like all this stuff, and I ended up making like a couple $1,000s off of selling prints because I was, I gave people a reason to support it.
Totally.
And I think as creatives, we don't really do that. We just expect people to pay us for stuff, but it's like you really should put reasoning behind it.
I like that.
So just going forward, I don't know, for any creative who needs to hear that, like people say if Kostas you have a story and people love that and they want to support your story, but you do the same video as this other guy who doesn't explain his story, like I'm going to hire you. And I think that's the same mindset for people who are people based, you know what I mean? So it's like, this was re-inspiring me to tell my story again in a different way. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you guys have stories, which I'm sure you do, and I'd love to hear one day, like use that to your advantage.
Word.
That's something as a creative that you can do.
Hell yeah. Can you talk to me about what it was like signing a lease and getting your first apartment? Because that must have been a crazy feeling. And I know you made a TikTok about it.
And how many like jobs did you do like leading up to that to like make it so you felt secure signing a lease?
Sure,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
I feel like a lot of things that I'm saying kind of sound like, nah, this dude's making this shit up. But like, dude, no. Like, it was so weird how it worked. So January was that lonesome month, that really fucking just really terrible month. February was the music group and Prince. So I was like, okay there. Third month was January, so March. At that point in my life, I had the most financial success month in my life. So this is over landscaping. This is over construction, forklifting. This is over all that. I made like $8,000 in the month of March.
Sick.
Wow.
Because I just met more people and I obviously had a story and people wanted to bring me on, and it just coincidentally worked out that everybody's projects were in March. And I just got, dude, I was on a Monster set 3 months in, like meeting the team of Monster on
Was
a
that
production.
through Caleb?
It was through Caleb.
Hell yeah.
The dude is insane, bro. Like, I could do a whole podcast about that dude. But anyway, he got me on that job to come and shoot just BTS stuff, and they ended up using like the content. The writers were using the content. Like that was like my first like, this is like how this shit could go. Like this was like proof to me that like if I could do more stuff like this, like I would love to. And now I shoot for Monster every single month.
That's sick.
So it's like, it's not through the same connection, which is actually more crazy. So it's a whole different thing, but I'm still shooting Monster stuff.
So you get an apartment.
Okay, yeah.
And what is that like?
Yeah, so after the AK month, I was like, it was March. So April, I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So I'm talking to all the people in the group, and there was like some people who were looking to move. And I didn't care who it was with.
Right.
Dude, what? I'm about to get my own bedroom, bro. Right. You know how long it's been since I've had my own shower? Insane. So coincidentally, they were looking for a spot. They've looked for spots in LA before, so that it made it all easy for me. I didn't have to like go on Zillow and like fucking stress and like, how do I even do any of this? Because keep in mind, it's like my first time being away from my parents too. So like even in Indiana, I didn't have an apartment and nothing. So going into the apartment was insane. And because I had such a good month of what I can be doing, I was basically just banking off that confidence of like, I need to do this again. Now, 8K a month is like crazy. Like for some people it's normal now, but like I definitely don't make that every month. But the fact that I did that once, it means I can do it again.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
And sometimes you need that. As a creative, sometimes I feel like you put a ceiling on what you're capable of making.
100%.
And for whatever reason, maybe 1 month is crazy good and you're like, oh shit, I am capable of making $8,000 a month or $10,000 a month, or I didn't think it was possible to make more than $10,000 a month. And then you have a crazy month, you're like, fuck yeah, let's do it again. If I can do it once, I can do it
Double
again.
it.
Right. Well, and it's like people sometimes will give you more money than you expect that you've ever really charged for. I remember that happened to me a few times where I'd be like, I know how much to charge, especially coming out of college. I'd charge like $500 for a video or whatever. And this company was like, we'll pay you $1,500. And I was like, holy shit, you can make $1,500 for a video? And then it was like, that's how much I charge now. And then all of a sudden it's more than that. And it's like, well, that's how much I charge now. And like they break the barriers for you sometimes.
And your mindset shifts.
It just keeps expanding.
100%. It's just proof of what is possible out there.
Right.
Like it's insane to me. Like when I worked my forklift job, you know how much money I made a month? I made like $4K a month. 2 months later in California, I doubled that.
Right.
Yeah.
Using a camera.
Doing what I love to do.
Right.
Hello, like people, go do it. Like I can't stress it enough to people. Just like go and try it, because like damn, bro, like you can turn around and you can always go back and you know you'll figure it out there too. Like it's not the end of the world, but like if you don't try, you're never gonna know.
And we're so young. I mean,
So young.
this is the time to go take the risk to start the company, to fuck up, to fail. Like, and I think I literally made a TikTok the other day about people don't have the courage to try anymore because they're afraid of either fucking losing, but then bouncing back from it, which is even more fun because you get to show everybody why you can still do it,
100%.
you know, and just to do it for you because you want that and you can go take it.
I crave that.
You know?
I literally crave failing because I want to just bounce back and do better. It's such a weird thing, but I think when you live in your car for 4 months, bro, you develop this mindset of survival. And it's like, I feel like almost a PTSD, bro. I was in the fucking military. I definitely was not, but I'm just saying, like, there's certain things that just make me have that hunger where I wake up and I'm just like,
you want it.
Dude,
I can make some fucking bread today.
Right.
Because if you do the math, like, it's like LA, I'm sure you guys have heard this before. It's such a cliche, but like it's $30 to wake up here.
Absolutely, dude. There's some months where I'm just like, how? And then you get a parking ticket. Oh, $73.
Yes, dude. Dude, I spent
like $90.
$300 on parking tickets last month.
100%.
$300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking
shit.
of-
What day is it? No,
street
I think I'm
parking?
good, actually.
No, you had a ticket.
No, today's
when I went
Wednesday.
out
No, I
there.
didn't.
Is
You
today
fucker.
Thursday? No, today's Thursday. Yeah, we have street cleaning on Thursdays and
Yeah,
Fridays.
I have that on mine.
I got a parking ticket this is the first time it's ever happened.
this is crazy.
I didn't turn the wheels on a hill.
Unreal.
That's some bullshit.
It was only $23.
Still pisses you off.
No,
though.
it's not.
But-
That's Air One dinner, baby.
I backed into a spot and they gave me a ticket because you're supposed to go forward in Manhattan Beach.
What?
I swear to
Manhattan
God,
Beach is
which
terrible,
is
bro.
horseshit, dude.
Yeah, I've
it's
gotten a
literally
ticket
just
there.
stealing money from people that can't. They can't afford.
Dude, it's
the fucking
disgusting.
tickets.
Parking tickets is a scam.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so what are you doing now? Work-wise? Like what clients, what's the vibe?
Sure, yeah. Now I have 2 retainer clients that I work for every month.
Get retainers, everyone.
Yep,
Yeah,
everybody
yes,
get
dude,
retainers.
It's a secret.
As a
It's secret
creative,
to
that is
being it.
such a key. Is like
Yeah.
having a monthly retainer, 1, 2, 3, however many you can get,
Yep.
and feel comfortable taking on work-wise. But like, it's the one way to get security as a creative and a freelance when you oftentimes don't know when or where your next check is going to come from. Like
100%.
having those retainers that you can rely on are key.
That's literally what's funding life for most creators. And if you don't, like, I think you just said that, but if you don't have a retainer as a creative, like you need to do that.
It's stressful.
I didn't have one before I moved out here, and now I'm hearing the word retainer. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Oh, I just work for this company once a month. I'm like, oh, let me try that.
And sometimes it's as easy as getting a new client and creating a piece of work for them and
Right.
saying, yeah, we should do this again. Like, this was great. Like, what if we did this every month? Like,
100%.
easy. It doesn't have to be something super complicated.
Yeah, and you don't have to lock them in for the year. You can go,
Yeah.
a month. You try a month. You do 3 months. Okay, let's
Right.
do 6. Let's lock in
Right.
for a year. You kind of test them
100%.
out, see if they suck or not.
And oftentimes, like, having a shorter contract is actually to your benefit because you're vetting them as much
Too.
as they're
Yeah,
vetting
totally.
you.
You're
100%.
equally testing them out.
Right.
Now, is it mostly photo work still, or are you expanding it all to other shit?
Yeah. So right now I'm just pretty much running like a media team where I hire out my friends, which is like the best thing that you can do.
that's what we do,
Because and I'm sure, a lot of people here do that, but it's to the point where I'm getting consulted by other people through other connections and stuff. And they was asking me if you do video. I don't post it. So like, I don't expect people to know that I do video, but most of the time if I plan on doing video, I hire somebody out to do it, but it's a part of my team, like a part of my agency.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Which is such a blessing. We get to hire our friends. Like, how insane is that?
Right.
So right now I'm just I have 2 retainer clients. It's just photo stuff. And then I just picked up a video, like a whole production retainer with a company. So
That's sick, dude.
3 right now.
Let's go.
At one point I had 5, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying this to creators: don't overload yourself, because
Yeah.
I had to create. And like, dude, I make more money with the 3 than I did the 5. So also
the
keep that in
80-20
mind.
rule.
Right.
Yeah, keep that in mind, you know, for people who are looking to do retainer stuff. But like, I was getting so burnt out and creating for I had like a coffee company that I was like shooting photos for, and I was like, dude, how the fuck, like, how do you shoot a year's worth of content for a coffee company when they're like, it's basically up to you to create the brief and everything that you want to do, but like the budget is just not high enough to where you can like hire people out. So now you're just asking your friends to come create, and then you're half-assing it because it's like there's no, you know what I mean? Like, that's something you'll run into as a creative with retainers. So I don't know, just heads up there, don't take on too much.
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah, it's great.
I want to ask you about getting to shoot Lil Baby, because you shot this Super Bowl event that I actually shot as well.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And I saw you post how it was a dream of yours to shoot him.
100%.
So was that a pretty surreal moment for you?
100%.
Can you touch on it a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So I got hit up through a friend to come and shoot the Maxim event that you and I were at, and he was like, Chainsmokers gonna. He left out Lil Baby.
Didn't even say it.
I didn't even say it, dude. And I'm like, of course,
That's your guy.
I know. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not gonna turn it. Like, what? Yeah, of course I'll be there. And we start talking in a group chat and stuff. And then he like sends the flyer, and it's just like Lil Baby, like loud and clear on it. I'm like, dude, how you just gonna leave this out? So I probably would have done this for free, bro.
Right.
Now you have to pay me.
That's so funny.
You're lost. Don't leave out Lil Baby.
That's funny.
But yeah. So why that's such a huge thing for me is because Lil Baby was my first rapper or first person that got me introduced to rap. And just the stuff that he talks about helped me out a lot. So I don't want to make it cliche, but like, he talks about money a lot. And like right now I really love money. I'm like, I love it. So it's like, bro, this is getting like, this is getting like gangster out of nowhere. But like, dude, I just love how motivated he is by money. Because a lot of people try to put a backing behind why they're motivated, but really it's the money.
Right. And they lie about it.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a freaking little liar rat. Like, I'm not going to lie about that to you guys. Like, I fucking just love money right now. And he talks about it. It's just motivating for me. But the fact that I'm like only a couple months into LA and I'm getting to shoot my favorite artist and like be around people that I love to be around, and like seeing you there too. And like everything just made that moment such a powerful, enhanced moment. Like, shooting Lil Baby is one thing, but like having everything else, because like the whole team that we were with was like part of the group that I became friends with, you know, over time. So it's like, just to have all of that into one room, and I don't know, dude, that's just sick. And like my homies, I used to listen to Lil Baby when you go skate, and like Lil Baby's always just been around. So it's just like to come full circle with an artist that I am working or I've shot for or whatever. That's huge. I just love full circle moments. Like that's why it was so huge for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's like, there's a few places that can happen.
Yeah.
Besides LA. LA is the one place where it's like, yeah, of course there's a Super Bowl party thrown by Maxim, and Lil Baby and Chainsmokers and Gunna are gonna be there. And like when I only shot one night, but like 50 Cent performed.
I shot the second night as well.
Dude, 50 Cent is fucking lit.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
He's
a big boy
massive
now,
posse, but like, man,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone more lit than 50, and everybody loves 50. Like
Right,
when he
yeah.
came out, everyone got out their seats or like
Literally.
went
Oh, hell
ham.
yeah, dude.
But you were there. Was it all one night or was it 2 nights? It was 2 nights.
It was 2 nights.
Yeah, I shot 50 Cent too.
Yeah, Lil Baby was the first night, and
Yeah.
then the night I was there was the second night.
Yeah, it was like
funny.
Tiesto as well.
Yeah.
Like Tiesto, 50 Cent, and somebody else.
That's
luxury.
nuts.
But then 50 Cent was like in the Super Bowl the next day, like a surprise
Yeah.
guest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was
yeah,
insane.
yeah,
He's
dude.
upside down. He's
That
kind of
was-
chubby
that was
now. Dude, that was
insane.
sick.
Yeah,
He
that
looks like a
was
ton of bricks.
Dude, yeah,
so funny.
super sick moment. So yeah, just going off of that, it's full
That's
circle.
amazing.
Let's go. What's some advice that you would tell to your 18-year-old self who's getting ready to move out to LA with all the information that you know now? What would you tell that person?
Man, retainers. That's one of the biggest things I would say is like for the survival aspect of it all. Like my 18-year-olds, I would tell them to lock in retainers and treat them well. treat the people that are willing to pay for your living well, because like that's something that I still try to work with, because work relationships can be weird. It's like if you don't deliver right, or if they all of a sudden change up their brief and now the direction of everything that they want to do is changing, because that's happened to me multiple times, which is whatever. But get retainers and treat them well, and find community immediately. Don't wait a month. Just go and do it. You know what I mean?
Community is the biggest thing.
Like reach out. Like I would have done more outreach, you know, the 18-year-old self. And I don't know, when I was 18, like I still had a pretty decent portfolio and stuff. So I feel like it still would have worked out. You know what I mean? But I firmly believe in timing, and it wouldn't be the same. Would it be terrible? I don't know. Like if I moved to here when I was 18, right? But yeah, like would it be terrible? I have freaking no clue. But I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I mean, shit, I'm only 24. I guess still.
You got time.
Yeah.
1 second. Lena's going to return. The little dog's going to come through. She's got to bring him back to the guy. Just letting you guys know. I just don't want to pause like in the middle of the story.
Little dog
Monty on the
return.
pod.
There he is. Hey, bring Monty up on the pod.
Cutest dog
Right
ever.
on Lena's head, the fly. Just landed right
What's
on
up,
your,
cookies and cream?
right on your head.
Cookies and cream.
Did you get that? Okay, you're good.
Can I just show you guys what I have in my folder real quick?
Oh,
yeah,
please,
yeah,
please,
yeah,
please,
please,
yeah.
yeah.
That's totally okay. I love
Yeah.
the direction we're going, but this is like, I guess it's just like to leave a message too for people who are working a bullshit ass job. Like essentially, I guess I did work that job, but like I didn't do it my best. I when I did my forklifting stuff, which was 2020, the year before I moved out here, I got really good at it, saw how easy it was, and quickly realized like, okay, I'm going to start slacking and focusing on other things that I want to be doing. And like, if you're working a shitty job, like make time for yourself. Cause these people will try to get everything out of you. Stay overtime. Oh, 2 hours, you know, you double your money, whatever. No, fuck all that. Like literally it doesn't matter. Like start doing shit like this. So like this whole folder these are all labels from forklifting. So instead of
crazy.
me doing my bullshit forklift job, which you should do, you know, there's obviously reasons why. I'm not trying to talk mad shit about people who forklift. I'm sorry, my dad's still there. But for somebody who has ambition and wants to do things, take labels like this, take anything that you can, if you're a construction or whatever it is, and write the ideas that you have down, because
That's sick.
all of these, dude, there's like so many, and there's like papers here too, and like this whole folder is everything that I'm doing now that I manifested and talked about doing a year ago.
That's
Writing it down,
amazing.
man. That's
Making
important.
YouTube videos, I put it out. Get big on TikTok. Not get big, whatever. Make TikToks that were talking
right.
about what I was doing, art. I started doing that. And like, there's like photo shoots on here that I've actually done.
Show the other side of the.
Yeah.
Or like this.
No, like show the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's where you read on, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just like
On all these.
hundreds and hundreds
Wow.
of just ideas. Like, and dude, it's like, they're not even like, not all of them are super in depth, but most of them are. Like this one says you do not need validation to create real art. So like, what was I even thinking in that moment? But now that I think about this has more reasoning now than it probably ever did
Right.
before.
It's
It's
sick that
insane.
you held on
Yeah,
to it
I
too.
love
That's really
that.
cool.
I will frame these in every
Oh, yeah.
house that I ever
That's
own,
awesome.
because like, dude, I know there's kids out here who've seen this fucking stupid
Right.
label.
Parcher palette. and
Damage
stuff.
is true. Like, yeah, man, just make a plan and follow through with it, and write the ideas that you want to do, because you'd be surprised in amount of time you'll be coming back to these and being like, damn, I did that without
Man.
even looking at them.
That's
Let's
sick,
go.
man. Thanks for bringing that. That's
Yeah,
really
dude.
cool.
Dude,
That's
I
awesome.
this is my biggest proof.
Yeah, I love that.
Like of everything, like all the people, all the career stuff, like that's all great. But at the end of the day, it really matters is like executing the things that you want to do. I just can't stress it enough.
God
So
damn.
obviously,
fucking dope.
Where can the people find you on social media?
my Instagram is just Skyler Wagoner. I have YouTube, I have TikTok, Skyler Wagoner photo on TikTok. And mostly I just post on Instagram. That's like where most of my stuff's
Let's
at.
go. Well,
Stories, motivational stuff, all that.
We will definitely link it below. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 505 podcast.
Let's
Make
go.
sure to go check out Skyler on Instagram, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you.
Bye.